Am I the asshole for only taking my nieces in and not their dad after my sister passed away? My 33 sister 36 passed away a month ago because of cancer. It's devastating and words can't express how we feel. Her husband struggled to pay off debts and has asked me and my husband to take him and my nieces age 13 and 16 in for some time. I have to say that I'm not on good terms with him. We've had more than our fair share of disagreements in the past. He tried to sue me and my husband for my own mother's house which I'm living in with my husband and daughter. But he claimed he needed money to pay for my sister's treatment and this was the only way to get it after my brother and I, refused yo help. It's a long story but we're not on good terms. I agreed to only take my nieces in but not him. He tried to negotiate this saying his daughters are grieving and need him, their remaining parent, to be around. I said he could see them during visits and that was it. My husband agreed with me at first. My brother-in-law showed up with my nieces days ago and I only let the girls in but turned him away after he tried to talk me into letting him stay. We had a huge argument and the girls went inside crying after their dad left, repeatedly saying they want him. My husband is backing out of this, saying we might be making a mistake separating the girls from their dad when they're grieving. My aunt berated me saying I messed up entirely here. I argued that it's my home and I don't feel comfortable with him staying after what he's done. She called me selfish and bitter and said I'm making it more difficult for the girls who just lost their mom. Now the girls are quiet but my 16-year-old niece keeps arguing about wanting her dad with them. My husband still thinks we're making a mistake and getting the girls to resent me to what I did to their dad who's grieving. Not the asshole. While it stinks that you can't be 100% supportive for the girls, it's his fault, you have to protect yourself. He's sued once. If he starts living there and establishes residency he could try to squat. If other family are upset they can take them in. Info needed. This seems very relevant. Why did he sue you over the house? Was the home willed to both you and your sister after your mom died? Why are you the only one living in it? Did you buy out your sister's share of the home? What was the outcome of the lawsuit? Info. You gotta explain this whole lawsuit thing before you're going to get a true judgment here. Am I the asshole for taking my son home when my sister gave him something he was allergic to? I, 32F, have a son, 6M, who has allergies. One of these allergies is food-based, so I'm very careful when preparing his meals. His allergies are moderate, so I don't need an EpiPen, but I still carry one just to be sure. The reason I'm mentioning this will come up soon. My sister, 38F, has 3 kids of her own who were blessed with no allergies so they can eat whatever they like. Her oldest, 13M, had a birthday party not long ago but I had a work-related appointment so I dropped my son off so he could attend. My sister is well aware of his allergies and I asked if she would be serving food that was okay for him to eat. She assured me all was well but I now know it wasn't. When I returned to pick him up he was covered in a rash and crying. I immediately recognized it as his allergy acting up and called my sister to the side. I asked if his food had been cross-contaminated but she straight out told me she directly gave him what he was allergic to. I nearly flipped out and had to go outside to calm down. She defended her actions by saying I was babying him and that he needed to learn to grow out of his allergy. She continued by saying she gave her boys everything so that's why they were stronger and healthier than my son. I admit I screamed at her after that and said some things I'm not proud of, but she angrily told me that it was her son's birthday and it wasn't right that my son was getting special food from everyone else. I pointed out that his allergies are nothing for him to feel special about and she countered by saying that if I'm so bothered by his itching I should give him the EpiPen so it could stop. I immediately left in my car and when I looked back and saw that my son had cut himself all over from scratching I cried. She called me in the middle of the night and angrily demanded that I apologize to her and her son for ruining his party, but I hung up. Am I the asshole? Update. I'm posting the update here since mods removed the last one. From reading all the comments I decided to press charges against my sister. Also I didn't include this in the post but my son has an egg allergy so I felt at fault for taking him to a party with pastries, but I got a lot of encouraging words so I know I'm not at fault. Thank you to all the Redditors that made me realize that I had to get something done, because if I'd done something like this to one of her boys she would retaliate immediately. I don't want to go into full details but the reason I didn't report what she did was because she is in a custody battle with her husband for her kids and I didn't want this to be another reason against her. However, I can't ignore it any longer and although I don't want her to lose her kids I have to protect mine. She did this to herself and luckily my son seems fine right now, but I'll take him by the pediatrician later if I see any changes. Not the asshole. Now. Your next step is critical here. Your sister didn't make a mistake. She made a deliberate decision to put your son in danger, despite her knowledge that it would do him harm. That is 1. Child, caregiver abuse, 2. Assault, and a court might make that aggravated depending on where you are, 3. Making clear that you will not be listened to on this, despite the result. Those first two, you're an asshole if you don't call the cops on her for assaulting and abusing the child left in her care. The rest, she can deal with no contact. Nothing less than one of those two is warranted here, or you will have absolutely failed your child. Update. Am I the asshole for not giving my mom a key to my girlfriend and I's place? Sorry for not including a link to my original post. Here it is. Here, to say that this month has been a shit show is an understatement. I really didn't think I would need to update beyond the ones on my original post, but here we are. As per my original post, I and my partner have been struggling with my mom crossing boundaries and more specifically badgering me for a key to our new home. I got a message on Facebook from my uncle around 2-ish weeks ago that my mother was in tears, couldn't sleep, and was a mess. He said that she has tried to contact me but since I blocked her on everything it wasn't possible. She wanted to invite us over for an apology dinner. Later, when Lacey returned home from work I showed her the texts and told her that it is up to her whether we go or not as she is the one who was wronged by my mom. Lacey told me since it was my mother she wanted to give her another chance but if my mom did something like this ever again she was done. I unblocked my mom, and we talked and set up a dinner at her place. When we first arrived everything was fine. My mom was being respectful and halfway through dinner gave a sincere apology to Lacey. Lacey responded that she appreciated and accepted her apology. My mom's face went sour and she asked, "Are you also not going to apologize to me?" Lacey said that she had nothing to apologize for. For some reason, this triggered a massive meltdown on my mom's end. She started screaming incoherently that this is what she was talking about, and she was tired of seeing my son be with a she-devil. Lacey got up, thanked them for the meal, and walked out. I quickly followed behind her as my mom stormed after us shouting insults with my dad trying to stop her, attracting the attention of her other neighbors who now think she's probably crazy. So as the comments originally suggested we are back at square one with them blocked most likely indefinitely. I would love to leave my dad unblocked but I know he'd let my mom contact me. Thank you to everyone who commented, I truly wish I could have provided a more happy update. Edit. Some of your comments about my dad have made me a lot more worried about what he's possibly dealing with at home. I'm going to talk to Lacey to see if she's comfortable with me reaching out for my dad alone at his work email since I know it's less likely for my mom to have access to that. Small update. Lacey does want to move forward and attempt to just contact my dad. As some of you in the comments may have read, Lacey loved my dad a lot. They were close and blocking him has really upset her. I'm just really hoping he does the right thing. Not the asshole. So sorry your mom is such an aw. Sorry you didn't get a better resolution. Hopefully your dad will come to realize that the only way he can have a relationship with you is if he respects the boundaries you have set for your mom. Congrats on the new house and your solid loving relationship with Lacey. I'm so sorry that you are dealing with this, but I have to applaud that you are standing up against this horrifically inappropriate behavior. There are too many stories on here from women who are dealing with someone as crazy as your mother and their partners just enable it. So you are definitely doing the right thing. I'm sorry, that's terrible behavior from your mom. But you're being a good partner to Lacey and good to yourself by not tolerating this insanity. I hope you both enjoy your new home. Am I the asshole for landscaping with a large rock? For some reason everyone who takes the corner at my house to go down the alley likes to drive over my lawn. My wife, myself and both my kids all drive. We make the corner in everything from an old sedan to a welding truck with dual rear tires. I've tried everything from a traffic cone to planting flowers there. Everything gets run over. I do not want to damage anyone's car. So I didn't put little rocks there that could rip out the undercarriage of a vehicle. I had my brother-in-law bring over a massive boulder. It is about 3 feet tall. I also planted flowers around it. Just Gerber daisies. I was not trying to camouflage the rock, I was trying to make it more visible. The rock sits back almost 2 feet from the edge of my property. One of my neighbors managed to hit the rock anyways. Destroyed the left side of his car. He is mad at me and he said he is calling the cops on me for setting it up to damage cars. I laughed at him because I checked with bylaw enforcement before I put the landscaping in. I could have built a brick wall at that corner and not be responsible if anything happens. But I didn't want to create a blind corner. Now there is a big fight going on in my neighborhood Facebook page between the people who used to cut that corner and everyone who says that it's my property. My wife says I should take the rock away. Great, except she was mad at me and then when her garden got run over. My neighbor says I'm an asshole for damaging his car. I don't think I did anything wrong. Am I the asshole? Edit. Thanks for the ideas on making it more visible. I don't think I'm going to paint it, but I am going to put some reflectors and solar-powered garden lights around it. Not the asshole. So if your kid happened to be playing in that spot, would your neighbor blame you for making him run over your kid? Did you send a bill to the neighbor to cover the damage he did to your valuable rock? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. One of my neighbors managed to hit the rock anyways. Destroyed the left side of his car. #GOOD. Ain't no practical difference between a nice, big rock, and the anemic concrete bollards that line the sidewalk in almost any major city. People can't drive for shit, and property owners need to be proactive. Not the asshole. They should not be cutting across your private property. You, however, have consulted bylaws and added landscaping. I'm not convinced that flowers would make the rock more visible, rather than less, but the fact that they were happy to run over your flower garden speaks volumes about them.